Welcome to Dr. K Speaks. I'm Dr. K, and I'm here to help you to navigate through the many challenges in your life's journey so that you might ultimately become the highest version of yourself. Right now, I'm going to talk about how our thoughts affect how we feel. That's right, how our thoughts affect how we feel. For the most part, your feelings come from the thoughts that you focus on. If you're focused on stinking thinking, if you're focused on negative and destructive thoughts, then you're going to experience some distressing emotions such as anxiety, fear, worry, anger, sadness. And on the other hand, if you focus on thoughts that are positive and productive, then you're going to experience those feel-good emotions, those comfortable emotions such as happiness, excitement, joy, peace, and calm. So it's really important to know that how you feel is a result of the thoughts that you focus on. If you don't like how you feel, then it's important for you to start to become more mindful of the thoughts that you're focused on. Most people are not aware of what goes on in here. And there's always some type of conversation going on in our head. Whole bunch of thoughts just popping in all the time on a regular basis. And if you're not careful, then you'll end up giving the negative thoughts your attention. Here's how it'll go, because it's important to know that we can't control what thoughts pop into our head, but we can control what we do with them. For example, if a thought pops in, and it's thinking, you couldn't control it from popping in. But what you can control is whether you're going to give your attention to it, whether you're going to focus on it and make up all kinds of stories about it. Because if you do that, then you're going to end up really, really upset, right? So you can't control what thoughts pop in, but you can control what you do with them. So nobody has invented a thought helmet for us to put on where thoughts go bing, pop off, bing, pop off, or you could program that bad boy to say, okay, I don't want any stinking thinking, I don't want any negative thoughts. And so let's get those away from me, repel those, right? It doesn't work like that. We have to be mindful of the thoughts that we focus on. So if you want to feel better in life, then it's always important to be more mindful of the conversations that you're having in your head. And if you really want to start to practice being aware of the thoughts that you focus on, pay attention to how, if you start to feel uncomfortable about something, worried, have some anxiety or fear or anger, take some time to go inside. And if you're in the right environment, just kind of close your eyes for a minute so that you can screen out your outside world and get in touch with this inner world in there, that world of thoughts. And then you'll listen to that commentary going on and 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 on, right? If you're feeling bad, then you're going to hear, I can't stand that. That gets on my nerves, or this always goes wrong, or nobody likes me, or I'm just like worthless, or whatever the case may be. That dialogue that's going on in your head, that negative self-dialogue, when you're focused on that kind of stuff, then it's going to cause you to experience distress. So if you want to be happy, if you want to experience peace, then it's so important for you to practice being mindful of the thoughts that you focus on, so that you practice not focusing on the stinking thinking, but instead making yourself focus on positive and productive thoughts. Something that I recommend is to have a mantra. And a mantra is a short statement that just brings you to your state of peace. So here's how a mantra will work. So say if you had a thought that popped in your head a lot that said, I'm not good enough. Okay, your mantra could be, I am valuable, I am worthy, I am good enough. So when that thought pops in your head, that's thinking, I'm not good enough, once you recognize it, you don't focus on it, you turn away and instead focus on your mantra that I am worthy, I am valuable, I am good enough. Now, when you focus on your mantra, because it's a positive and productive thought, you're going to feel good, because positive and productive thoughts lead to us experiencing those emotions such as happiness, tranquility, serenity, calm, peace, right? And if you focus on the stinking thinking, the negative and destructive thoughts, then you're going to feel bad. And you probably already know about my other videos where I talk about a lot how our brain is wired 95% for habit. So if you have a habit of focusing on stinking thinking a lot, then it's going to be really, really important for you to start practicing rewiring your brain. Rewiring your brain so that you can start to focus on the positive and productive aspect of things. And I say positive and productive because it's really, 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 really important to be more positive and productive in our thinking. Because that'll get you to the next step. That'll get you to your next level. Focusing on positive and productive thoughts will help you to become the highest version of yourself. Not one of you out there, not anybody listening, can go to your next level and become the highest version of yourself by focusing on negative and destructive thoughts. Because negative and destructive thoughts are just not good. So I encourage you today that if you want to feel good, if you want to feel just even peace of mind, if you don't want to feel stressed, I encourage you to start becoming more aware of the thoughts that you're entertaining. And remember that just because a thought pops into your head doesn't mean that you have to focus on it. You can come up with a mantra, which is a positive, short statement that'll bring you to your space of peace. So when that stinking thinking pops in, you consciously make yourself focus on your mantra, or maybe you even have an affirmation that's positive and productive. So you can consciously make yourself focus on that affirmation. Bottom line is, you have to put your work in. Because since our brain operates 95% for habit, you're going to just habitually do whatever it is that you habitually do. And if your brain is wired to focus on negative and unproductive thoughts, destructive thoughts, then that's just going to be your automatic go-to. But that's okay, because like I said, you can consciously make yourself do what it is that you want to do, because we all have free will. So if you want to feel good, make yourself start looking at things from a more productive perspective. Sometimes you can't find a positive way of looking at things. So sometimes things aren't just like positive, happy, yay, because maybe something distressing has happened. But you can look at it from a productive perspective. For example, say if you have a grandmother and you loved your grandmother so much, very, very, very close to your grandmother, and then all of a sudden she suffered from this illness, and then she passed away, she crossed over. Okay, so when the thought about your grandma pops in, it's not positive that she crossed over, because it's like sad because you miss her. But you can find a productive way of looking at that situation. What is a productive way? Well, you can say that, okay, when she was here, she was suffering because she had that illness. And I know that she didn't like feeling the way that she was feeling. And it wasn't getting better. It was just causing her to feel worse and worse and worse. And I know that she didn't like living that way. So she crossed over. And so now she's no longer in her body. She's no longer having that human experience. And she's no longer suffering from that pain. So that's a productive way of looking at it. So it's important to try and find some productive way of looking at all things, because there's always there's that saying, looking at the glass half empty or the glass half full. If you're looking at it half empty, then that's like maybe on the negative side, and you're going to experience distress when you look at it that way. But you don't have to do that. You can always look at it from the perspective of the glass half full, and then you can feel better. And when you feel better, you'll have more energy. And when you have more energy, you'll have more motivation to do all the things that you need to do to work on becoming the highest version of yourself, to work on accomplishing whatever goals you have set for yourself. But when you focus on the stinking thinking, you end up in so much distress that those uncomfortable feelings can start to weigh you down. They can start to make you feel very sluggish and tired, to the point to where you just don't even want to get out of bed. So that is not a good thing. I encourage you today to start taking more responsibility for how you feel, and recognize that your feelings are coming from the thoughts that you're focused on. And start being more aware of what thoughts you're focused on, Pay attention to how you feel. If you're feeling uncomfortable, that's your warning, 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 warning sign that you focused on some stinking thinking. So just go within and come up with a mantra real quick, or an affirmation that maybe you've already been practicing. But whatever you do, it's imperative that you consciously make yourself focus on things from a productive perspective. And if there's a positive perspective, then do that as well. I encourage you to start today. You can do it. I believe in you. Feel better. Start feeling better today. Start changing your mindset and looking at that glass half full. Thank you for listening to this video. And if you like it, then give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, then subscribe to my channel so that you can be aware of when I upload, when I post more and more videos on how to become the highest version of yourself. Thank you.